How's it going, guys? It's Red, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a super powerful shotgun build that you guys could be using right now in Back 4 Blood just after the big December patch. When you guys use this build, you should be able to just absolutely fly through Recruit and Veteran, and this build can even be taken into Nightmare. But before we get into that, if you're new here to the channel, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more awesome Back 4 Blood content just like this. Also, make sure to check out the link to my Discord server. It's going to be down in the description below. You guys can use it to find teammates to play Back 4 Blood with, so if you guys are in some dire need of teammates, make sure to come check out the Discord server. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Alright, so here we are in the deck building menu in Back 4 Blood. This is going to be the complete deck list, so if you guys are just looking to copy and paste the deck list, now is your time to do so. But for the remainder of this video, I'm just going to be talking about why every card is where it is, what role every card plays in the deck, and just everything like that. So, the objective of this deck is quite simple. We are a shotgun build, so that means that we're just going to be front in line, and we're just going to be, you know, the front line of defense for our team. We're just going to be blowing everything away because we're shotguns, so we're going to excel at super close range, but we are going to have cards that give us better effective damage range. So, honestly, these shotguns at the end aren't going to be necessarily just confined to close range combat, but putting it in really simple terms, just stay in front of your team and blow everything away that you can. Now, in the number 1 slot, we have Cold Brew Coffee. Now, this is one of the cards that got a rework with the December update, and this card went from being like one of the worst cards in the game to like one of the best cards in this game. This card is an absolute all-star now, and I mean, outside of like a melee build, there is no reason to not play this card. This card gives you 15% reload speed, 25% aim speed, weapon swap speed, and use speed. Now, that is absolutely everything that we want in a shotgun build. Now, it's really, really important that we have a card that gives us reload speed outside of a really good effect like Mag Coupler, because in this deck, we're not playing Mag Coupler because it disables our ADS, and in my previous version of the deck, I based my deck around Mag Coupler and cards like Motorcycle Helmet, stuff like that that disables our ADS for some sort of value. But now with Cold Brew Coffee, I honestly think that we don't need cards like Mag Coupler anymore, because yes, it may have a slower reload speed, but I mean, just all of those extra effects that we get on top of that, I mean, just really puts this card over the top. This is the starter card because, I mean, it does everything but give us damage. You know what I mean? We have plenty of other cards that can give us more damage in the deck. This is going to put us at a way bigger advantage, you know, at the early stages of the campaign. Now, at the number 2 spot, we have Large Caliber Rounds, which gives us plus 7.5 bullet damage and plus 200% bullet penetration. And also, notably, this card has no downside anymore. This card used to have a downside before the December update, but now they changed it. You know, they changed the percentages on it and they took away the downside. And honestly, I do think that this is the best damage card in the game now. I think plus 200% bullet penetration and 7.5% bullet damage with absolutely no downside is absurd. Now, that's why it's in our number 2 slot, because I think it's the best damage card in the game, and it's going to give us the most damage with the least amount of effort, if that makes sense. Like, once we take this card, we can focus on other categories like reload speed and just like making other stats better. Now, at number 3, we have Scattergun Skills, which gives us plus 40% reload speed with shotguns. Shotguns, you know, are notorious for, you know, having really, really slow reload speeds, so just about anything that we can do to give us some reload speed is really, really good. And I mean, this card, this is all we had before Cold Brew Coffee, you know what I mean? Like, this was really the only card that was good and gave us a lot of reload speed without some ridiculous disabler like aim downsides, you know what I mean? But now with the addition of Cold Brew Coffee, I really think that this plus Scattergun Skills are enough reload speed to make it so you don't have to play something like Mag Coupler anymore, and you can ADS now, and it doesn't really lock you into, you know, playing all these other cards that disable your aim downsides. Now, at number 4, we have Line 'em Up, which this is another card that got a huge rework once the December update hit, and this card used to be just an assault rifle eccentric card. Like, it used to give like assault rifles more damage, something like that, but now it gives us 10% effective bullet range, 15% recoil control, 25% bullet penetration, and 25% aim speed. Now, once again, just like Cold Brew Coffee, this card is doing everything we want to do as a shotgun build. Helps us aim faster and makes our bullets penetrate more, which means it just hits more stuff, which means it's killing more stuff, and being the front line and just blowing things out of your way faster is exactly where we want to be. I mean, recoil control, obviously we want that, and it gives us more effective bullet range, which means that this gives shotguns longer range, so we're not necessarily confined to just being close quarter massacre anymore. Like, we can actually expand our range, and we have other cards in this deck that'll do that too. Now, at number 5, we have Padded Suit, which gives us plus 10% damage resistance, plus 5 health, and minus 20% stamina efficiency. Now, the reason we play Padded Suit over Motorcycle Motorcycle Helmet is because Motorcycle Helmet disables our aim down sights, but in the previous build where we were running Mag Coupler, like, it wasn't that bad. I mean, Motorcycle Helmet and Mag Coupler go together really well, but I mean, we don't want to disable our aim down sights, and this card isn't that much worse, and it really has no downside at this point, because yeah, the 20% stamina efficiency effectively made this card, like, kind of not good, because the game used to be so set on, you know, like, stamina and everything like that. Like, the last format was just speedrunning, that's it, and all those cards got nerfed now, and Turtle Rock literally came out and said, we are making the game slow and steady wins the race. Like, they want you to take your time. So with that being said, taking 20% of our stamina efficiency away, like, that's not that bad anymore. No one's speedrunning. Like, you shouldn't be speedrunning the game anymore. You should be taking it slow. You shouldn't have to sprint a lot. I mean, there are going to be times where, you know, you're going to need that stamina efficiency, but it's not nearly as common as it used to be. Now at number 6, we have Ammo Mule, which gives us plus 75% ammo capacity with the downside of having minus 5% move speed. Now, this card also got a ginormous rework, and I also think that this is one of the prime cards in the game now. Now, this card always gave us 75% ammo capacity, but the downside for this card used to be that we could not play support accessories, so we couldn't have any heals on us, and before that was awful. This card was awful. It was unplayable, but now, with the downside being minus 5% move speed, which basically, I mean, 5% is so low, it basically doesn't even exist. You know what I mean? Like I said, the game is not a speedrun-centric game, and 5% is so little off your move speed that it doesn't even matter. Also, notably, that the shotguns in this game don't hold a lot of base ammo, and especially if you're just going to be shotgunning everything out of your way, you're going to need this ammo. At number 7, we have High Vis Sights, which gives us plus 30% aim speed. This card's really simple. Shotguns really don't have the fastest ADS of all time, but it's also not the slowest. Like, it's not as slow as a sniper, but it's not as fast as an SMG, and just this little boost gets us right where we need to be. Like, we don't need to overload the deck with aim speed cards, because that's just unnecessary. Like, we don't really need to aim incredibly fast with the shotgun, because they hip fire better than most guns. Now, number 8 is Silver Bullets, which gives us plus 10% bullet damage and plus 15% effective bullet range. Now, this card also got a rework after the December patch, like many others in the game, and this card, in my opinion, overall got a lot worse after the update, because they made it do less damage, but the main reason we want to play this card is because it gives us plus 15% effective bullet range, which, like I said earlier, with Line 'em Up, it makes it so our shotguns shoot farther. And I mean, that just makes us even more of a threat. You know what I mean? Like, usually shotguns are close quarters, but if you turn them and give them the same range that like an SMG has, that's going to let you do a lot more work for your team. Number 9 is going to be Hyper Focus, which gives us plus 50% weak spot damage with a downside saying minus 40% on your move speed while you're shooting or melee attacking. Now, this card used to just do minus 75% ADS move speed, so when we're aiming, we're basically a snail, but they had to rework this card to make it so the melee players couldn't use and abuse it anymore. So, I mean, yes, this card got overall worse because melee players can't use it for essentially no downside, but I mean, it gets better for us because this downside isn't as bad as the other downside that we had, if that makes sense. Now, number 10 is going to be Wide Mouth Magwell, which gives us plus 30% reload speed and minus 5% damage resistance. I mean, like I said earlier, shotguns are notorious for having a super slow reload, and I mean, Scattergun Skills and Cold Brew Coffee are gonna get us through until, you know, the mid to the near the end of the campaigns, and I mean, just having that extra reload speed just to get you back in action that much quicker is just where you need to be. Like, this card isn't blatantly better than any of these cards, but I mean, at this point, your deck's engine's completely going. Like, you've already had 2 cards that make it shoot farther, you got extra weak spot damage, you got extra damage, you got padding, and you got all these extra effects from Cold Brew Coffee and Line 'em Up. It's okay to add another reload speed in there. Now, at number 11, we're gonna have Screwdriver, which gives us plus 50% use speed and 10% stamina. Now, this card is kind of like a hidden all-star because you actually use your use speed a lot more than you would think, because I mean, it counts for everything, you know, opening chests, opening doors, you know, picking players up, saving them from the wall, doing anything that requires a progress bar in this game affects your use speed. And I mean, making it just that much quicker, like making it take half the time, I mean, that is just fantastic. And it gives us plus 10% stamina. And we get all of this stuff for absolutely no downside. There is no downside on this card. It is just all upside. Now, number 12 is going to be Reckless Strategy, which gives us plus 30% weak spot damage with the downside saying minus 5% damage resistance. And I mean, this card's just a worse hyper focused, but hyper focused is really good, if that makes sense. Like, we're going to have plus 80% weak spot damage at this point. Like, we are basically going to be able to just one-tap Special Infected outside of, like, Tall Boys and Ogres and obvious stuff like that. But when it comes to Hawkers, Stalkers, as long as we hit them in the weak point, and, I mean, it doesn't have to be that far away either, we're gonna one-tap them. Now, number 13 is going to be Shell Carrier, which gives us plus 30% shotgun ammo capacity and 10% damage with shotguns. Now, much like Tactical Vest with the AR decks, this card took a huge drop. This card used to be, like, number 1 or number 2, but now this card's, like, all the way down in the bottom because, like, it's not a bad card. It gives us more ammo capacity and gives us more damage. It's a clear auto include, but I mean, it's kind of just too linear to put kind of early in the game. You know what I mean? With cards like Line 'em Up and Cold Brew Coffee around now that just offer all these fantastic effects. I mean, picking the card that is so linear, just more damage, more ammo, like, that's not good enough to pick before any of these cards. And I mean, it's still good, but it's just not as good as these cards. Now, number 14 is going to be Reload Drills, which gives us plus 20% reload speed. Now, this and number 15, which is going to be Ridden Slayer, which gives us weak spot damage, these are for, like, the finales and the end of the campaign, stuff like that. Because, I mean, this update just came out, so I haven't had much time to test this, but the finales kind of just turn into Special Infected spam sometimes. Like, Back 4 Blood has a tendency to do that. And when it comes to it, we need the extra damage and reload speed just to be able to, you know, fight off the hecticness of the finale in general, but we need to be able to one-tap specials with our gun, except for, like, Tall Boys, and we need to reload even faster because, I mean, the finales are usually the hardest thing that you face, which mean more stuff than usual is going to come try to kill you. So, I mean, you need to reload faster and need to be able to kill it faster. Well, that's going to do it for the video, guys. Make sure to leave a comment down below telling me any deck changes that you guys would make, and as always, if you happen to enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more awesome Back 4 Blood content just like this. Also, make sure to check out the link to my Discord server. It's going to be down in the description below. You guys can use it to find teammates to play Back 4 Blood with, so if you guys are in some dire needed teammates, make sure to come check out the Discord server. And until next time, it's been Red, and I'll see you guys in the next video.